Okay guys, first day of planting. We're throwing it back to the 80s to celebrate the first day of planting. Gotta decide here. I think so. Nope. Yeah. If anybody has any 80s trucker hats, I will buy them. I'm just trying to start a collection, so let me know. So I think this hat came out in 1994 when the 8000 series tractor came out, and they sold it with it. And I found this on eBay. Spence, you got your choice. You have to wear 80s trucker hat for the first day of planting.
I like the yellow one.
You got your choice.
I like this one. I feel like if any 80-year-old guy, if he's gonna wear a hat, it'd be that right there. Some blue overalls. Nice. I don't have the overalls though. The plan is to VT about 105 acres, and then hook to the field cultivator, VT 50 acres that I didn't get field cultivate 50 acres that I didn't get field cultivated, and then if all goes well, we should be planting today. I thought for sure we weren't going to be in the fields today, but last night it was supposed to rain, thunderstorm, and we completely dodged it. So that means it should be good to go. There's probably going to be a couple wet spots out there, but we'll probably have to work around them, and then maybe later in the day it dries up, take a little shot at going through some of them. We'll see. Right now though, we're looking at 83 today, which the humidity's there. Tomorrow 91, Thursday 93, and then Friday, oh, it's not gonna rain Friday. Okay, we can maybe get everything done. Oh, it does look a little wet back there yet. So about 3 weeks ago, I field cultivated about 50 acres of this 110 acre farm. And when I was doing it, it wasn't working good, and it was just all clumping from all the corn stalks last year. And I ripped these corn stalks. I probably should have chopped the stalks or VT'd them ahead of time. But what I'm gonna do is the stuff I field cultivated, I'm just gonna do one final pass with this and chop up that residue, so that way the planter trash whippers can just get right through that residue. Since this is corn on corn, I'm just deadly focused on making a nice seed bed. If it was corn, if it was going to beans, I wouldn't be as worried. But then the other 50 acres I'm gonna hit with the VT, and we're gonna come back and level it out with the field cultivator and then plant that. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's dry enough. There's only a couple spots out there that I'm seeing that look a little sketchy. We'll up that hydraulic pressure on there. Change implement. We just need to see what we got depth set at. I think D is shallow. So we'll set it at D and see how it does there. We're only trying to go like 1-2 inches deep. We'll see how it is. I don't know if it's gonna level off ripped ground the best though. Probably would have been a good idea to take the stops out before I start going. Why is he going down, Grant? Because your stops are in. Working up pretty nice back there. I gotta figure this steering sensitivity out, because sometimes it'll send you all over. It seems to be doing good now, but it seems to be chopping up those stalks a little better. It's doing a good job of chopping everything up, and that's what we're wanting. The only downside to this is it's leaving
there's kind of some spots where it doesn't move the soil enough to kind of level out all the, you know, all the giant ruts from the from the ripper. So the ripper has kind of giant rows and stuff, and it doesn't level it the best.
Jump in, big boy. I gotta play some 90s music now. Some 80s or 90s music.
So that actually worked up super nice. Like that, it looks real nice. It's just not the most level like across there. It's still got the ankle twisters when you walk across it. So we're gonna go do some stuff now that I field cultivated, and that stuff, this is gonna be the finished pass on that stuff.
Yeah, I'd say that the front discs are doing 75, back are doing like 25. Maybe 80-20.
I can adjust that. We'll see what that does now. So I know you guys were wondering about the tune and how much like horsepower it added to this, and it seems to pull it pretty well, and we can even crank it up to 12 mile an hour, or not 12 mile an hour, but crank it up to 12th gear, 8.5 mile an hour. This thing's just way too big for the 8110. Even with the tune, it's technically a little underpowered, but the horsepower difference is pretty insane. I noticed it when I'm used to it now. That's the thing, you get used to the tune and the horsepower. But there you go, we just catch one of those over there. But we'll have Spencer get up to 10 mile an hour here, and there's no way an 8110 still I could pull this. I wouldn't want to pull it crazy at 10 mile an hour, but it'll do it. We're running probably a little less than 2 inches deep right here, but when you pull it so quick, that's where it takes horsepower. It doesn't take as much torque, it's just all horsepower. It's actually, I think, doing a better job than my field cultivator does as far as like the base. The base is pretty good here. Run into some issues that this field is probably shouldn't be working it. It's just a tad too wet, and there's still a lot of moisture underneath it, even though we saved it for last. I don't know what it is. It could be soil quality. It just doesn't drain the best. So we're working it, and then we're gonna probably have to come back tomorrow and field cultivate this again to try and dry it out as much as possible to be able to plant this one. Everything else is super dusty. This entire 22-acre little field here, there's not much dust being kicked up back there. So I don't know what it is. So I lightened it up a little bit. We're just trying to fly through this here. I'm in 12th gear, doing 8.3 mile an hour, and we'll knock this out and then try and hook up to the field cultivator. We're fishing up some end rows here, and I'm going to test. It's crazy how fast you can pull these things. Check this out. We're pushing 8110 a little bit. Got 10 mile an hour on there. I can't believe she's doing it. We're good to go. We're done with this machine. That all worked up a ton better. Look how nice that looks. It's just a little wet yet. New day, we should be planting today if everything goes well. I went out last night, ran this fuel cultivator It's probably I wonder if I got it on footage, but it's probably too dark to see on footage. But I ran this and it was still clogging at the harrow. It clogs. It usually gets caught up, and this harrow is adjusted as far up as possible so that the trash can make it onto this first row and then make it back here. But it still clogs, and then it starts forming a big bowl up here and up here. You know, you're running, and every 15 seconds you pretty much have to lift up the fuel cultivator. And we VT'd those cornstalks too, so I'm just like, I'm done with the fuel cultivator. We're gonna hook up the vertical till, clean up a few spots, and hit the wet field one more time to help dry out that wet 20 acres. And we're gonna just go plant it. Give us the rundown, Spence.
Not looking good. So we filled this thing all the way up with water when we were welding on it for safety purposes. And we're like, oh, let's run some water through it, make sure it's working right, pumps and everything. And then probably a week or two later, painted it, got fuel in it. Now we have 500 gallons of diesel in it. And everything was working before it that we knew. And then now it's not working.
Should we just get a new pump? Or what do they cost?
Well, this nice one with like a new nice meter is like $1,000 or like $750.
Okay, today's supposed to get up to, I think, 94, 95 degrees, so it's gonna be hot today. It's gonna be fun though. Makes it a little fun. There's a couple mud holes that I'm trying to hit, so that way we can plant the whole field and not have to go around these, but gosh, they just seem still a little too muddy. It's real cloddy too. This 20 acres here is by far the wettest field on this farm. It is, I'm going through it, I'm not even making much dust, so we're gonna plant everything else, and then if we get to this tonight, we'll plant this tonight. If not, I guess we'll plant tomorrow. But the sun can come out, oh, that'd be heaven. It's hiding behind those clouds right now though. Come on, man. Rain something. It goes right in there. Okay, it's officially time. We are planting. We're gonna put the seed on the flatbed trailer. Spencer's gonna back up to her. I got 3 different varieties going on this farm, so it'll be nice to have them all organized here. You ready to rock and roll, butt crack?
Kick the tires and light the fire.
We are actually doing it. Here we go. It is, I thought we were gonna get out here earlier. It is now
Company to your right.
It is now 1:30. So we're just leaving the shed here.
Tango inbound, take them out.
Got the CompuTrack set up. So that's hooked up through a wire to the planter. That's all set to go. I have Climate Field View. This is the first year using that. That should be set up to go. And then we got Green Star Auto Steer. We're gonna see if that works. It's gonna be nice to kind of not look forward and look back at the planter and make sure everything's working good back there.
Okay. About half.
That's about half. So we have Pioneer 1366Q, which Spencer just put in, going up against Whiffle's Whiffle's 7876. No, Whiffle's 6978. I think I planted some of this last year too, and it did really well on marginal ground. It did really, really well. So we'll see how this does here. Planter hybrids, 1366Q, rows 1 through 6 on the left. This is exactly what I want. So with this, when I harvest and I come through with the combine, it's gonna know exactly which hybrid that I planted and exactly where on the farm. So that way, once I'm done with the season, I can go look and see what hybrid did what, on what type of soil, on what height, on what CEC the soil was, like all of this awesome information.
one of the rows isn't planting, row 7. I kind of went a little ways. Everything else seems good. I'm thinking maybe we have too much down pressure because it's all packed in there like really tight on the sidewall. So everything else when I picked up, there's a couple of seeds there, a couple of seeds there. Seeds, 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 seeds. No seeds there. Seeds, seeds, seeds. Okay, we knocked out 2.5 acres right there, a little patch. I think I'm getting used to things. There's a couple bugs that we got to get sorted out with field view, not that big a deal. Our population seems a tad low on the CompuTrack. It's showing. I got to kind of figure that out a little bit. It's around like 31,000. It's not too big a deal, but I got to kind of figure that out. It's going. We're working through some bugs here. We're working through some bugs. Spring down pressure, because those are new down pressure springs.
Come back here.
We're trying to figure out down pressure here too. There's 4 different settings on down pressure. Those down pressure springs we installed. There's 0, 125, 250, and 400. We're thinking right now it's a debate between 125 foot-pounds of down pressure on the whole unit or 250. I'm kind of on the side of go 250.
Down the hook right here, or maybe look and pull in the other field, we'll get you loaded and then on hook in here.
There was one. It's about 2 inches deep. Seems like. There was one. Yeah. I think we got a breakdown. We found a gauge wheel out here. I'm hoping it was somebody else's, not mine.
Yeah, I saw it like 10 passes ago and just thought it was like 5 or 10.
Oh, son of a gun. We actually got saved. There was still a bolt on that gauge wheel still. I don't know how that was just laying out in the field and still had the bolt in it. So we're gonna just tighten that up and we should be good to go. Trying to see if we can get away by raising the trash whippers because they're trenching it a little bit. But I kind of like that. Just with all the trash we have out here to trench it, throw all the trash out to the side. We raised 2 of them up just to see, hey, what does it look like? And then once I get to the end of this row, I'll jump out and we'll see if there's still trash in the row after raising them up. So there's just sometimes where there's piles of trash out here and it just kind of, the trash whippers have to push everything out of the way. That's kind of how it is. Here's the difference. We kind of came into a spot where it was, there was kind of, I don't know, it sunk in a little deeper. These ones all cleared all the trash out of the way. You don't see any corn stalks. This row, there's definitely corn stalks down that row, which is what I don't want to see. I think we're good. I think we're set good. This, if we raise this back a little lower, it'll get most of this out of here. Nice. Well, we got everything planned that I kind of wanted to get planned tonight. We got 50 acres knocked out. So it's about 10 o'clock. I think we're gonna call it. Just get up early and keep on going on this farm. But yeah, I'm gonna fold this thing up, move on to the next field for tomorrow morning. And yeah, thanks for watching the first day of planting, guys. Always appreciate it. Have a good one.